Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and talk about this case where you have a lot of typical foolishness and racism going on at yet another public school. And when I do videos like this, I can't help but, think about the parents, the Black parents in this country, and how this is yet another example of how integration has been a downfall to our people, especially to the psyche of our children, because they're sitting in schools with students who don't like them, who believe that it is appropriate to either dress in blackface or engage in, spelling out the N-word and bend, or in this case, handing out N-word passes. And so this is what this story is about. So when I think about all of these things that we keep continuously seeing happening, such as teachers walking on students' backs for slavery lessons and just everything that has been occurring in these schools, I can't help but see how it validates the point of and the fact that we made a mistake. Because when you had segregated schools and you had teachers who were you had Black teachers teaching Black students, be it male or female, you weren't dealing with these situations. You didn't have people walking on students' backs. You didn't have them handing out nigger passes. You didn't have the blackface situations. Those were things that weren't going on. The children weren't being funneled into the school to prison pipeline. Their psychology wasn't being degraded by being in these integrated classes. So you didn't have the level of psychological damage that this is giving way to. So you had a school that is saying that they disciplined, and then we know, we'll use that word loosely because ultimately they're not describing to you what said discipline is. They're just saying that they were disciplining students who were giving out some N-word passes. And you have to think about the bold audacity of this for them to not only believe that this is appropriate to do, but actually carry it out. I want to go to a quick video, and then I'll come back with some commentary.
Police are now involved in the case surrounding this flyer passed around to students at Oconomowoc High. The image is blurry, but the words N-word pass can be seen. It appears to be identical to this image found online. According to the district, one student copied the image and gave flyers to 10 other students on Wednesday.
I was furious, very upset.
This parent, who did not want to be identified because her child attends the school, is disgusted.
Maybe he thought that it might have been funny to do, and it might not have been his intention to be offensive to any of the children there, but he did it. And he scarred some kids, and one of those kids are mine.
In a statement, the superintendent condemned the flyers as hate speech, writing in part, "We understand the moral responsibility we have to continue our efforts in creating a culture of inclusion where racism is not tolerated." He added only the student who made the flyers was disciplined and referred to police.
They told me that apology letters was written and they talked with the parents, but still that's not enough for me. My daughter still has to attend that school, and she also has to face those kids that was passing those out.
Whether or not the student could face any criminal charges is a question the district says should be answered by police. We are still working to get that answer. At Oconomowoc High School, I'm Derek Rose, WISN 12 News.
Other than referring the case to police, the school district would not say how it disciplined the student who made the flyers.
One of the best schools in the country is right here in Maryland, but now Winston Churchill High School in Montgomery County is dealing with a racist incident. Students were caught handing out passes that were printed out. They look like this, supposedly giving them permission to use the N-word. Kevin Lewis from our sister station WJLA spoke with one of the teens involved with this and the mothers of two involved students. They say they believe the school is overreacting to what they claim was supposed to be a joke.
It's a joke that went maybe a tiny bit too far at the most, but the school blew it out of proportion.
Gavin Norman is a sophomore at Winston Churchill High School in Potomac. On Friday, two of his close friends printed around 15 copies of this meme from the internet and handed them out to students during lunch. The meme, modeled after a Willy Wonka golden ticket, says N-word pass. The idea being pass holders could use the racist term without repercussions.
It should have been like maybe 1 day suspension at the most, just like protocol for schools, but it ended up being a lot more than that.
Administrators have disciplined at least 3 students. In an email to parents, Churchill's principal said she was, quote, deeply disappointed and appalled by what she called a racist, hateful act. Your principal called this racist conduct. Do you agree with that classification?
I do not agree.
Why is that?
No one was trying to offend anyone. No one was saying the actual word.
It's childish. Sophomore Philip Chillicom gave the incident a 7.5 on the offensive scale.
You know, it's just something that I've been thinking about lately. It's just been stuck in my mind. It's kind of like, you know, it's disappointing.
That was Kevin Lewis reporting. The high school has a PTSA meeting on the 19th of February, planning to focus solely on training about race and tolerance.
Now, I want you guys to take note of that, because those videos were 2 separate schools. Hopefully you guys caught that was 2 separate schools, same thing going on, okay? In one of the videos, you have the mother, a mother of one of the students, saying, oh, she didn't, and I'm saying this because I want you to see how the conditioned mind of the modern day Black person matches that of the white student in the other video who was justifying it. They kind of just did it in 2 separate tones. So the mother is on here saying, well, I don't know if he did it to be offensive, and maybe they were playing and all these other things. And then you go to the other school incident where they're, again, doing the same thing. And you see the mentality of him where he doesn't think it's racist. He doesn't think there should be any discipline around it. He doesn't think it's offensive. And then you have another student, a Black student, saying that he's disappointed. And on a scale of 1 to 10, he'll give it a 7.5 of offensive. This is what we're allowing to happen. And I say we loosely because I don't have any kids. I don't have kids within the school system. But this is a problem. And this is a problem that we seem to not understand when it comes to what we should be doing to counteract this. Because the reality of it is you have a choice as a parent where you can go up to your child's school and address these issues. Even if it's not happening, you can address the possibility to let the teachers and the faculty and the staff members know that you're aware that there is a high rate of racism coming not from not just from the teachers who are instructing the school, but also from the students. Those things can be done. I know they can be done because my sister's done them. I've accompanied her at the school to do it. I've written letters with her, letting the school and faculty know, hey, we're aware of all the racism coming from the teachers and students going on in these schools. It's simply not going to happen. What do you think happens if you have Black parents across the country sending letters already before any of this happened, letting them know we're watching you? And we're not going to tolerate this behavior. We're not going to tolerate it from the teachers. We're not going to tolerate it from the students. That right there shows you their mentality. But what ends up happening is when Black people choose to teach their children, again, they're teaching their children and raising them based on the fantasy that they want to live in rather than the reality that they actually live in. Because you have a lot of Black people who really want to believe that they live in a post-racial society, so therefore they teach their children to believe in this myth that you're living in a society void of any racism. And that's not the case. Also, notice how in both situations at different schools, you have them talking about, oh, we disciplined the students, but they're not telling you what was done. That's because they know that that's all that's going to happen. They know Black people aren't going to go to the Board of Education and sue the school for this repeatedly having to happen, and the Board of Education not doing anything to address this issue. Notice how also you have, once again, them telling you some white students need to be taught the importance of diversity and tolerance. You only see that nobody else has to go through this because nobody else behaves this way. Nobody else behaves this way. And there is a reason why nobody else behaves this way, but that reason is being ignored and is being passed off because our people don't want to understand who and what they're dealing with. This is ridiculous. It makes it like, there's no possible way I would deal with this and tolerate this if my child was in a school and they come back and tell me you got students in there. You can best believe I'm spending a significant amount of time forcing you to do something about this situation. It wouldn't just end here where you think you just get to say that you disciplined somebody, where they just get to be suspended for 2 days and you think I'm going to be at school. No, all of them who participated, the ones who saw it and passed it out, something needs to be done to them too. But you can only expect to get what you will tolerate. If you accept and tolerate certain things, you can expect that that's what you're going to continue to get. And until we put our foot down and say enough is enough, we're not tolerating these things. We don't care about what you think about us not tolerating it. We're not tolerating it. It will continue to happen. But you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for your support. I'll see you in the next video.